Hey everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Stories, the podcast. My name is Nathan Merkel. This podcast will discuss different stories that we as humans have experience in, with, and through sports. Hopefully, providing context to these questions. What makes sports so special? And how do sports impact us as humans? I'll dive headfirst into these questions through critical conversations with a wide variety of guests on our show. I really hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Sports Stories. My name is Nathan Merkel. I'm really excited about this episode. I'm joined by Mr. Darrion Cockrell. He is a PE teacher at Crestwood Elementary School in St. Louis, Missouri, a previous Missouri Teacher of the Year, Missouri Elementary PE Teacher of the Year, many other accolades. Mr. Cockrell, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey man, thank you so much for reaching out and allowing me this opportunity to, chop it up with you. So thank you for letting me be on here.
Yeah, this is great. I'd love to sort of just hear your origin story, where you from, and sort of how you got to where you're at right now.
All right, so born and raised, city of St. Louis, man. I grew up in a very bad neighborhood, bad community. Um, Things got so bad that I was put into a boys' home when I was in seventh grade. I was in a boys' home for about a year, and one cool thing that came out of that was I had the opportunity to start playing football. This was the first year our middle school had a football team, so I started playing football in middle school, and so the boys' home was busing me or dropping me off from the boys' home to the middle school after school, and it was my first time getting an opportunity to play in a team sport, an organized, real team sport, not just, in the park and stuff like that. And one cool thing that came out of that was my coach, man, he fell in love with me and my situation, and he knew what was going on, and his family fell in love with me. And after the football season, to make a long story short, man, they adopted me, and it completely changed my life. So going from living in the city of St. Louis to living in a boys' home, and then in Chesterfield, it was a huge 180, man, and it just provided me with so many opportunities to grow and to be a better person in life. And I mean, if it weren't for my father and my mom and my coaches and just the Parkway School District, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you right now on this podcast.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm really curious. You said that you initially started playing football to begin with. Do you think that was sort of a pivotal moment for you?
Absolutely. I mean, let's be real. Football is a pretty violent sport.
Hmm.
Uh, During that time of my life, there was a lot of anger inside of me. So it just gave me a constructive way to use my anger in a way that, to tackle and get all the anger and stuff out. And it was so fun, man. And it was like to be able to tackle somebody and, use all this anger and strength and not get in trouble and actually excel at it. It changed everything for me.
Yeah.
And then also have coaches to guide me to learn how to use that in a way that's going to make me a better person. That changed everything too, because I never had coaches before either.
Yeah, that's interesting. Have you thought about, or in the past, did you ever get involved in any other sports, or was it just football only?
So I guess the first it was basketball and football was in middle school.
Hmm.
Basketball because my counselor, she knew that me and a lot of the other kids from the inner city, basketball was a sport that we all had access to and that we all wanted to play, but we never played as a team. So she created a team for our middle school as a way to use as a deterrent so we can do better in school. So I guess my first real team sport was basketball because that was in seventh grade, and then I started football. Summer right before eighth grade.
So then, fast forwarding a little bit, how did you get interested in physical education? Do you think that's sort of from your experience playing with football in other
I
sports,
think
or?
it's definitely a combination of everything. Football was definitely the boat that kind of steered me to becoming a PE teacher. But I think growing up, when you think back to elementary school, middle school, and even high school, sometimes I mean, I always loved PE. I think a lot of kids
Mhm.
loved PE. And it's funny because I even won an award my senior in high school. Like it was like the best PE student, and not even like athletic wise, just like good sportsmanship and things like that. So to be a PE teacher now and have that award is kind of funny. It's up on my wall, but um, I always love my PE teachers. I think they had a really cool and unique opportunity to have every student in the school and
Mhm.
build those relationships. And I think for me, football was a way that let out all my frustration and anger and stuff like that. I learned how to be a better person, and it also gave me an opportunity to go to college. So I played college football at Milliken University, and one thing that was really cool about that was the football team. We had to tutor students on Friday nights. This was a way for us to build community, get people to come to our games, and just things like that. And I think having those conversations, tutoring kids, and like building those relationships with them, I loved it. I really enjoyed, helping the kid do something to be successful. So when I went back to my advisor because at the time I was like kind of undecided on what I wanted to do. I was just taking my prereqs. And initially, when I came to school, I was like, I want to do something with art. I didn't know what I wanted to do because I was a really good drawer. Art was my first love. And my advisor was like, do you have a portfolio? And I didn't have a portfolio at the time. So she told me, you're probably not going to do art. So she just signed me up for my prereqs and having this opportunity to work with kids and going back and talking to my advisor, she said, "Well, you're already an athlete. You play these different sports. Have you thought about getting into education, maybe PE?" And that's when the light bulb came on. I was like, "No, I never thought about that." And then I started signing up for all these PE classes, and that was definitely my motivation to become a PE teacher. Having that football and then that tutoring situation all come together.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Where do you sort of draw your motivation from when you're in these PE classes? Do you sort of have any like game plan or any sort of idea when you teach these PE
Um,
classes or anything specific that?
Definitely, I definitely always have a game plan. I have everything structured, throughout the school year. But I mean, every day, even though you have a plan, everything changes every class, depending on the students, depending on the behavior, depending on what's going on with the weather. So I always have a plan what I want to do. Whether it's a specific sport, a specific skill or game I want to do, and then based on the students, their skill level, their behavior, and things like that determines how far we get into it, and then how much of that we were able to actually do.
Now that I'm curious, now that you're on the other side, you said as a PE teacher where you've got, when you were younger, they sort of introduced you to the side of education. I'm sure as a younger version of yourself, you probably thought what that would look like. Are you now that you're on the other side, is it the same as what you thought it would be, or is it completely different?
Dude, it's it's the same. I'm like, some days, I swear to you. So when I used to team teach a few years ago, me and my co-teacher, I'm like, we get paid to do this.
Yeah.
Like it almost doesn't seem fair sometimes. And I think it also goes like I really enjoy my job. There's a lot of PE teachers who can't stand what they do. I mean, it
Mhm.
sucks. I think that's in anything in life. There's so many different jobs, and there's some people who love what they do, and some people who don't really love what they do. They just go for the paycheck. But I truly love what I do. I see the smiles that my students have when they come to my class. When every kid knows your name, the parents know your name, and they see the joy that you bring. So they bring that same joy in your classroom. I just love making kids smile. I love making sure they have an opportunity to be seen, heard, and to develop mentally, physically, socially, and emotionally. So any kind of space that I have where I can get kids up and moving and having a good time, I'm all about it. But I think being a PE teacher, there's some days that are tough, but at the end of the day, because I love it so much and I put so much into it, it doesn't seem like a job sometimes. And I almost feel like I'm doing something wrong because I'm like, how am I having this much fun? Am I supposed to have this much fun as a teacher? But to me, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah, I think it connects to that one saying. It's like if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yes.
It's really, really interesting. One thing that sort of came into my head, you said that you love putting smiles on your kids' faces and teaching these sort of things. And I'm curious, do you think the way that your kids react, is it because they're being involved in physical education or because they're just in PE having fun, or do you think that's solely because of you, the educator yourself, or is that because
Dude,
of like the sport itself? Is that
so I don't want to say that it's because of me.
mm,
But I know it is because when I have a sub, the
uh,
kid like, Mr. DC, why weren't you here? Like it wasn't the same. I wish you were here. And I just know
mhm,
that when I'm there in that space, I just bring a whole different vibe. And those
mhm,
kids they look forward to that. Just my goofy personality, but also I'm serious and I try to get them to step outside of their comfort zone and their shell
mhm,
to try new things and have fun and be. I think I just do a good job of making that space safe and fun and
mhm,
engaging. And when you have all those three factors, it allow those kids to come out of whatever shell they're in and just try new things. And I
mhm,
think they love that. And even though I gotta raise my voice sometimes, I think they respect that as well because there's some days where you have to be, I don't want to say the bad teacher, but you just have to be the authority figure and you
mhm,
don't want to have to be that person. But the fact that the kids come out the next day hugging me and Mr. DC, I missed you, I love you, and all this stuff. I'm like, I must be doing something right because even the kid yesterday, he's back the next day, giving me hugs, high fives, and asking when the next time he's coming to PE. So
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's really cool to think of. And thinking back to my time in PE in my elementary school, I shout out to Mrs. Dreemeyer. It was probably one of the, like you said, it's probably one of the most favorite like times as a kid is playing PE, and I'm sort of worried, or not really worried, but like hesitant about where PE is going in the country right now. I've seen a lot of programs are cutting PE programs, and I'm just curious, like I feel like PE is essential, and I feel like it is a way that students relieve stress and just have some fun. And like you said, there are some students that have this sort of anger, and like I relieved that through sprinting. When I played soccer, and I would relieve that sort of through sprinting, and it's just really interesting to see why people think that PE isn't as important as it should be, and it's kind of
yeah,
surprising
you
to me.
would think living in a country where we have a lot of people. I think heart disease is one of the number one causes of death
Yeah,
in our country, and I think PE is one of those classes that you absolutely need because it's the building blocks and foundation of all those things, health, fitness, and we're giving these kids the knowledge they need to take care of their bodies so their bodies can take care of them. I always tell my students, I don't care what you want to do in life. I hope you want to do something positive. Hope you want to give back. I hope you want some cool, big, fancy, whatever job. But doesn't matter what you want to be. If you don't have a happy and healthy heart, you can't do anything.
yeah.
You got to have a healthy functioning heart and a healthy functioning body so that you can achieve your dreams. And PE is the perfect place to learn about all these things you need to do so that your body can work for you as you get older.
Yeah, I agree. I was wondering if you could sort of like walk me through a day, just a day in the life of you as the PE teacher. What does that look like? What do you do, and what's the plan?
So I typically get up around 4:30. I go to the gym. For me, I got to get a workout in because that's just kind of gets me motivated and ready for the day. I feel
Mhm.
like when I go to the gym, I have a lot accomplished already. If I can get about 10,000 steps before I even walk into the school, like I'm
Mhm.
happy. And then once I get to school, I'm already kind of amped up and ready to go. One responsibility that I don't have that I used to have was in the morning, parent drop off. So that's when the kids get dropped off and then they come inside the school. And although it's not one of my responsibilities to be out there, I am very intentional about being out there with the radio, with the music, welcoming kids in because I think sometimes in the morning, people just don't want to be there. They're tired.
Mhm.
And, when you think about school, I mean, outside of PE, you're learning. That's the most
Mhm.
important thing. You got to learn. And some kids just are not as passionate and excited about learning. But when they see me out there happy, welcoming them into the school, dancing, singing with music, high fives and stuff, I think it kind of gets them amped up and ready to go and going into school with a positive attitude. So I always look forward to that.
Mhm.
As I'm done with that, I get right back into the gym. I set up whatever game or activity. I write my I can statements on the board. So right now we're currently doing soccer. So for I can statement, I might say like I can dribble, using different parts of my foot. I can trap the ball. I can, play goalie. I can not use my hands. So different things kids should know at this age in
Mhm.
elementary school soccer. Once I have all that up and ready to go, my first class comes in about 9 o'clock. As soon as they walk in the door, we're right into our warm up. So we're already moving right away. That's one thing I really try to emphasize more of this year is not a lot of downtime. I mean, you got to have downtime so you can go over your instruction and what you're doing for the day, rules, expectations. But I try to get them going right away. So that way they get a lot of those wigglies and energy out because they're already excited to be in PE. So if
Mhm.
I can get them moving and get their heart rates up, and then it makes them tired, and then that's when we get drinks, use the restroom, then we sit down and we go over what we're doing in class for that day. And once we go over that, then that's when we get into the activity. We
Mhm.
get into the activity, whether it's stations, whether it's the actual skill or the actual game, if it's soccer or something like that. And then the last 5 to 10 minutes, I always use that as like a cool down time to get the kids kind of reacclimated to going back to class. Because I don't think it's fair that, I get their heart rates up, I get their energy up, and then I just send them right back to class and they're expected to just learn right then and there. So I try to calm them down, get their brains calm down, get their hearts low, heart rates a little bit lower, and then I let them leave the room calm. They don't always leave calm, but
Mhm.
the goal is for them to leave calm. So I
Yeah.
mean, and then I do that, 6 or 7 times a day, depending on how many classes I have that day.
Wow. Sounds like, yeah, you got your hands full. Is there any moment that you sort of prefer the most? Like, do you like doing the activities the most, or do you like sort of disseminating those I can moments the most?
Man, I think so. I think early on it was like the activities right away because I'm like, "Hey, let's get right to the activity." But I think as I've gotten older and just learned more about being a teacher, I think for me it's the instruction part, being able to connect with the kids who just don't understand and being able to identify their ways of learning. So whether that's me talking to them, whether that's me showing a video, whether that's me having them demonstrate. So just the instruction and the demonstrations, that's my favorite part. And then once they kind of get into the activity, I also enjoy that. But I think I like the breaking down the information so that they understand and know exactly what they're doing and why they're doing it. I think as early on as a teacher, one of my biggest pet peeves was when kids were like, "Why do we have to do this?" I hate when they ask me that question, but I look forward to them asking me that question because I'm like, that's what we're doing today. This is why we're doing this. It's going to allow you to do this when you get older. So I always have an answer for that question. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Is there ever a moment that you may not like the most? Is there ever like a downside? You're like, oh, this is probably the worst part of my
And
job.
they're just on one. I mean, there's different times every day. It's just you got certain grade levels. I'm like, bro, come on, man. I'm like, y'all want to be here. Y'all love PE. You're excited about being here, but I'm like, just give me 5 minutes to go over what we need to do, and then you can be crazy. But it's just like when they can't just get quiet for 2 to 3 minutes so I can go over the instruction. Because to me, my number one thing is safety. I don't care what we're doing in class. If we cannot be safe, if you can't listen to these rules and expectations, and we go out and do something and you make a mistake because you weren't listening, then that's not going to be okay. So I'm always harping on safety. And once they can quiet down, I can go over the safety parameters and things like that and what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be doing it. Then we can get to it. But when they don't quiet down enough to do that, I'm just like, Lord, please, just come on. Please, God.
Just listen for 1 second.
Real. But what
Yeah.
I do now is I have this video, it's a go-to video. It's called Respect for Kids.
Uh,
And it's like a Sesame Street episode. It's like 7 minutes long. And as soon as that comes on, they already know what it is. They're like, oh, here we go.
yeah.
So they be quiet. They start watching that respect video. It talks about listening and being respectful and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then when we're done with that video, we don't always go through the whole thing. But about 3 or 4 minutes in, they're quiet. I'm like, okay, we want to finish this video. We want to get to the activity. And then they're like, okay, let's get to the activity. So
That's really funny.
but yeah,
Yeah,
they try
that's
my
wild.
patience every day. But I
Yeah, that's fun. That's really fun. I have a lot of experience working with kids too, and I worked at a summer camp over the summer for ages 8 and 16, a little older I think than what you deal with maybe, but it is very rewarding. I would say it is very rewarding working with kids, and I love teaching them and helping them in any way, shape, or form. But I'm curious. I wanted to ask you a follow-up question. There was a moment in when you were answering the previous question I had where you talked about motivation, and I'm curious where your motivation comes from. Is it more internal motivation, or do you think it was sort of socialized into you, or do you think you just sort of grew motivation over the years and you just are now just an extremely highly motivated person?
I think early on, my motivation always came from my grandma. She always wanted
Mhm.
me to have a better life and do
Yeah.
things outside of what we were used to in the city. And I think once I was able to break out of that bubble, be in a boys' home and live in Chesterfield, it just motivated me. I'm like, okay, God gave me this opportunity to do more stuff in my life. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing those things. And
Mhm.
then once I had my son, then he's my number one motivation now. I'm like, everything
Mhm.
I do. Uh, is to show him the right way to do things. I'm not
Mhm.
perfect, and he knows that. And I think that's a great thing to have as well because I don't expect him to be perfect, but I want him to learn from my mistakes. I want him to learn from the things that I do and just always be a positive, outgoing, and responsible person. And I try
Mhm.
to lead that by example, not only for him, but for my students as well. I think it's funny because even if I go out with my friends and we're just, having a guys' night and stuff, I'm always thinking about you would think I'm only thinking about my wife and my son, but I'm like, man, if I did something stupid, like I will let down all those kids at that school. So like
Mhm.
my students, they are my motivation. I gotta make sure that I'm living a life that's respectful and responsible because they're counting on me to be there for them at school.
Mhm.
I know that I'm the light for a lot of those kids and I'm a lot of those kids' hero and I don't ever want to let them down. So, I always try to stay motivated through my family and my students, man. I love those
Yeah.
kids to death. Even though they get on my nerves sometimes. I would literally do anything for any of those kids, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. And you said a very unique word that you said that you're their hero. Is there anyone that you can think of that is your hero?
Man, my hero. Man, my dad. I lost him a few months ago, but my dad was my hero, man.
Hmm.
He seen something in me that I didn't always see in myself, and he took a chance and he brought me into his family, not knowing, what kind of kid I could be. And he trusted me, and he put a lot of stuff in me that helped me grow into the man that I am today. And I know that he's proud of me, and yeah, he was definitely my hero, man, because he was a great dude, and he seen something in me, like I said, that I didn't see. And he brought a lot of stuff out of me, and I'm just so thankful to have had a dad to love me, to care for me, and to help me get through a lot of stuff that I was going through as a young teenager.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm sorry to hear that. I'll transition to another initiative that you started called CrossFit. I'd love to sort of hear the idea behind that, where that came from, and why you
Yeah,
decided
man.
to start that.
So I'll never forget, man. It's my first day, or actually, not even my first day. It was in an interview with the principal at the time, Jody Oliver, and a few other people. Mary was in the interview too. It's so funny. Mary, I know you're gonna watch this. And I to this day we joke about it, but I told her I feel like she didn't like me. She didn't want me to get the job because she wouldn't crack a smile. She just looked so stone faced and so serious. But come to find out, she loved me. She thought I had a great interview. But at the time, I was like, man, this lady's not going to let me get the job because she just had that look on her face.
Mhm.
But when I interviewed for the job, I told the principal that I wanted to create CrestFit. And what it was I took the word CrossFit and I just merged it with the name of the school, which was Crestwood. So I created CrestFit. And it was a program that allowed me to, get the kids more knowledgeable about fitness and health, and also just creating a space where I can also work out parents, work out students, and work out teachers. Because if I did that, I knew that all three of them would have at least that one thing in common. And that one thing is like, man, I can't stand Mr. DC. He got me sore from all these workouts. But it just gave them that one thing they can all have in common. But it also created a space where I can bring different people together to build more things for our students. So when I did the CrestFit things, the workouts, for example, I would have parents and teachers there, and
Wow.
it just created an atmosphere where teachers can talk to parents, parents can talk to teachers. We can kind of humanize each other. I'm
Mhm.
not just Mr. DC, the PE teacher. I'm Mr. DC. I'm Darrion Cockrell. I'm a human just like you. So I
Mhm.
think creating that space and kind of breaking down some of those walls allowed us to be more comfortable with each other. So if there was an issue or whatever was going on, it was easier for us to talk to each other about things.
Mhm.
And it provided a space where we can all come together as a community to provide our students with all the things that they needed to be successful. So I was so proud of that because I think it helped a lot of people bond and do a lot of fun things together. Like I used to have an open gym for dads, which I'm about to recreate. I'm about to get that going again. We haven't done it in a while because we haven't had a gym space, but I had open gym for dads. We used to play basketball and just, build these relationships. I used to work the teachers out in the morning as well. It was all these different things I just did in an effort to just not only center it around mental health, physical health, but just community, man. I think community is so important. I think at the end of the day, we need each other. It
Mhm.
takes a village, and I think being on the same page allows us all to grow forward together. So that was the basis of CrestFit, just creating a
Mhm.
space where we all can come together, like-minded people, and just provide opportunities for our students to grow, and then ways for us to grow as teachers as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'd love to sort of ask us a similar question that I asked in the past. Like when you sort of had this idea and you pitched it during the interview, do you think it would have got to where it's at now, or do you think it was more so like I have this idea, let me try it, and we'll just see where it goes? I'm curious. Like, did you think it would get to where it's at now, or did you have other
And
thoughts?
I don't think at the time that I thought it would be as successful as it is now.
Hmm.
But I mean, back then when I was younger, and I was like, dude, I feel like because I had an opportunity to get a job. And then when I got that job, I'm just like, I'm saying yes to anything. Anything is possible. I went in with the attitude that anything is possible. Because growing up the way that I did, I didn't have anything, bro. So I'm like, anything is better than what I had. So it's possible. I'm like, if I can get to where I came from and be here in this position right now today, it's possible. So at the time, I didn't know it would be this successful, but I'm so glad that I never gave up on it and I continue to like when kids come and see me, they're like, Mr. DC, I'm staying crest fit. Like that means so much to me. Even if they're just being silly and joking, it
Yeah.
means a lot to me because I mean I think they really value that and they seen how fun I made getting to know your body and just fitness and health and working out and having fun with it. So
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'd love to transition and ask you about the award of the Teacher of the Year award in 2021. I'm curious how did that come about? I'm not very familiar with that process, but like did someone like blindly nominate you? Is that how that works? Or
so I think it's different and it might be different in different schools. I don't know at the time. The way it worked is if you were going to get nominated as the teacher of the year in your school, they had to come ask you if they can nominate you. So
okay.
Krista Branding, one of our fourth grade teachers, she came. She's like, "Hey, Mr. DC, I love what you do with the kids." And this was 6 years into teaching.
Hmm.
He was like, "I'd love to nominate you as our teacher of the year." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, sure." Like never thinking like we have so many amazing teachers at our school. I never thought in a million years that I would win.
Hmm.
So when I won Teacher of the Year for Crestwood Elementary School, now each winner from each school, they're going up for District Teacher of the Year.
Hmm.
Now, again, I'm like, bro, we got all these amazing teachers in this district. This is
Hmm.
Lindbergh School District. There is absolutely no way that I win a District Teacher of the Year. And I'll never forget, we were on a Zoom call. It was like a district Zoom call, and I was late. I was late to it because I like overslept. This is like doing COVID or something. And I guess the principal must have called my wife. Was like, "Hey, I don't know where DC is, but get his ass on this Zoom call." So I'm literally in bed, dude.
Oh
Half
my
asleep.
gosh.
I got my laptop open
Yeah.
and talking about whatever. I'm just kind of like whatever. And they
Mm.
was like, "Oh yeah, something about District Teacher of the Year," and then they said my name, and I'm like, "Oh!" And there's a
What?
video of it out there. So I'm like, "Wait, what?" So when I won District Teacher of the Year, I was like, "Oh my god! Like, what is going on? This is crazy! Like, how?" I still to this day, I don't know how I won District Teacher of the Year. But then when you win that, then you have the opportunity to apply for a State Teacher of the Year. Now, I wouldn't have applied. I'm like, I'm in my brain. I'm like, okay, I won Teacher of the Year for Crestwood. These are the people who know me the most. I am satisfied with that.
Hmm.
And then I won District Teacher of the Year, not thinking that I had ever had an opportunity to do that, but I did. And then I guess it's just tradition where if you win District Teacher of the Year, then Lindbergh, they want you to apply for State Teacher of the Year because obviously that makes the school district looks good as well. They have a State Teacher of the Year. So that process was actually really, really hard because during that time, like it was like 7 or 8 different questions. You had to write these long essays.
Hmm.
And we didn't have Chat GPT and all that stuff. So I literally had to like figure this out, like all these essays and stuff. And I'll never forget, I was like practicing these essays to other teachers and reading them out and this and that and blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how this is going to work, like what is going on. And because it was COVID, I didn't have to go down to the state to Jefferson City to interview. I did it through Zoom.
Okay.
And I'll never forget, right before I was about to get interviewed, man, I went and I took a shot, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was so stressed out. I'm like, man, let me just take a little shot of this. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, interview started. And I think the thing that helped me was it loosened me up, but it's like I just became me in that moment. I wasn't trying
Yeah.
to be somebody who I thought they wanted me to be. And I truly think that's why I won Teacher of the Year because of my just true personality. They loved the
Mhm.
person I was. They knew how genuine I was about education and what I did as a teacher and just life. And
Mhm.
so when I went through the interview, I was just so happy to have it over. I was like, it's over. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm not going to win. It is what it is because when you win District Teacher of the Year, then it's like you got Regional Teacher of the Year and all these other things. You go to all these different award ceremonies and you see all the people from around the state that you're, I guess, competing with to win Teacher of the Year.
Mhm.
So literally, my wife and I, we're at the Regional Teacher of the Year dinner. I'm like, oh, that guy right there is going to win. We're looking at each other. Not talking about me. My wife's like, oh, he might win. I'm like, oh, no, I think she's going to win. Like that guy over there, he's going to win. Never thinking in a million years that
Yeah.
my club will win.
Wow.
And so I won, but the way that I found out, it was so funny because at the time we had a new principal and she called me down to the office. She was like, hey, DC, she called me on the walkie actually.
Mhm.
And I actually almost ruined the surprise. I didn't know that the entire school, my family, friends, everyone was in the back of the school waiting to surprise me.
Mhm.
So here I am with my students. I'm about to take them outside to the field to do soccer or something.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking out the door, about to ruin this whole surprise, the news, everybody's out there. The principal was running down the hall. DC, what are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm going outside. And then she's like, remember we told you yesterday you couldn't go outside because they were spraying chemicals in the grass, which
Oh
they had
yeah.
never said that before. So in
Yeah.
my brain, I'm thinking like they sprayed the chemicals, it's over with. Like I can go outside. Like I got
Yeah.
a yard at home. I know all about the chemicals and stuff. But unbeknownst to me, they were trying to surprise me. They had all these
Yeah.
people in the back, so they didn't want me to go outside. So um the assistant principal at the time, Mr. Norton, he took the kids out. He was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'll take the kids." And then the principal took me back to her office. She was like, "We need to talk about a situation with you in the morning." And I'm thinking, like, what did I do? What did I? She was like, "We had a parent call and complain about the music you're playing." So now I'm in my brain. I'm like, bro, which one? I'm thinking about every parent and the faces they made. I'm like, it had to be this guy because he made an angry face at me. And I'm like, I play Kids Bob. What kind of? How can I? She's like,
Kids Bob.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And then the principal was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting with Dr. Lake." And I'm like, I'm really about to get in trouble. I'm about to lose my job because somebody lied and said that I played bad music. So
Yeah.
as we're leaving her office, and she's walking me back to my students. She was like, "Yeah, we got to set up meeting up with the superintendent and blah blah and this and that." And as she's telling me this stuff, she's asking me, she's like, I might have an interview with the news about something with the district. I know you've had a few interviews because you won district teacher of the year. How should I go about these interviews? And in my brain, I'm just like, I don't care about your interview. Like, I'm about to get fired. Why do I care about an interview with you and whoever? So I'm walking out and I see the news people. I'm like, oh, I guess the news people are here to interview. This is what you're talking about, right? Not knowing that news people were there for me.
Yeah.
And then I see all these people standing outside. I'm like, what is going on here? And then my wife and my son run out and it was like, you won. And I see this huge banner that said Missouri Teacher of the Year. And the first thing that came to my brain was, oh no. I didn't want to win, bro, because I'm like I'm reading about all the stuff that teachers have to do. I'm looking up YouTube about former teachers of the year, and the one thing they all were doing were like speaking.
Yeah.
Doing speeches and stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I can't do speeches. I can't do keynotes. I was terrified.
Mhm.
I'm like, bro, I didn't want to win because I didn't want to do that. So when I won, I mean, it was I still to this day, I can't believe I won. I won teacher of the year. All these people were there. I was crying. I was excited. I was scared at the same time, but it's been a whirlwind, bro. Like the amount of opportunities and things that have come from me winning teacher of the year you can't even fathom half of the people I've been able to talk to, meet, the travel, the everything. This was a year like no other. Even talking to former teachers of the year, they're like, dude, like this is not normal. Like the stuff that you went through as teacher of the year is not normal compared to other years or even years to come. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like every day, I was literally, dude, every day it was a podcast. It was an interview with a news station, CNN, NBC. I had literally, I was in not a war, but I was in what do you call it? A bidding thing with Kelly Clarkson.
Oh my gosh.
What's the other woman name from 50 First Dates?
Is that Kate Hudson, I think? No.
No, no,
No.
she has her own show. I can't think of her name
Drew
right now.
Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Uh, Tamron Hall show, Ellen DeGeneres show, all these different shows and all these different people. They were like, "No, we want you, we want you, we want you." I'm like, I don't. I'm like, can I just go on all the shows? Like,
Yeah,
what?
what the
They
heck?
was like, no, we want to be the first and this and that. And I ended up going with Tamron Hall because she was the African American woman. I was like, man, I want to give her an opportunity, like whatever, blah blah. Blah.
Hmm.
But low key, kind of wish I would have won with Ellen.
That's funny. That's wild. Like that is a
Damon
wild
Hall,
story.
she hooked me up, man. She gave me all this stuff in my home gym,
Yeah.
like all these really expensive. Like she hooked me up, dude.
Yeah.
But I had an opportunity to be interviewed by Chance the Rapper too. He gave me $30,000.
That's crazy.
Rapper. He nominated 10 teachers around the country for this Twilight Award, and I was one
Yeah.
of the 10. And he gave us all 30 grand, man. And we went on his if COVID wasn't going on, we would have did something in person where
Yeah.
he had all the teachers come. But because COVID was going on, we had this cool interaction thing through Instagram Live. And I
Yeah.
think the dopest thing when I go back and look at that video is like seeing the comments from all of the Crestwood community, like Mr.
Yeah.
DC, like that's our teacher, and how proud they were of me. And I
Yeah.
was just so proud to make them proud. It was, dude, it was the coolest thing ever, man.
Oh my gosh, Chance the Rapper. Like that's so cool. Like,
Rapper, bro. And I'm on there like being silly with them, like
yeah.
dancing and just, dude, it was it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Wow, that's really cool. That's a very inspirational sort of story.
Yeah, man.
I guess it's safe to say that that award has definitely changed.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
guess your life in general.
Yes, it has. But I always
Yeah.
tell my students, man, I'm like, look, this is not my award. This is your guys' award.
Yeah.
Like, I want to teach the year because I'm this great guru of a teacher. I want to teach you the year because you guys were able to buy into the stuff that I'm trying to preach to you, and you guys are doing the stuff that I'm asking you to do. Like, it's you,
Hmm.
not me. So, I'll let them know, like, this is our award. I know my name's on it, but this is our award. I wouldn't have this if it weren't for you guys. And
Right.
the only flip side of that, because it's a double-edged sword, is because I was that year that I won Teacher of the Year and the year after, I was so busy and I was gone so much. I mean, the kids were mad. They weren't happy about it. It was like, Mr.
Mhm.
DC, we know you won this award, but can you be done? Like,
Yeah.
just be here. Like, we don't want you gone anymore. So I struggled with that a little bit because I felt so bad because I was always gone. And a lot of times it would fall on the same day. So I
Mhm.
would have like a C-Day group of kids that I don't see for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I felt so awful, man. So I've definitely been, picking and choosing things that I want to do now is become a lot easier. I know how to say no.
Yeah.
But at that time when all those things were happening, it was the most stressful time of my life. And on the outside looking in, you're like, oh, look at this dude. He has all these different things going on. He's probably the happiest dude in the world. But man, it was so stressful.
Yeah.
It was like being pulled in every direction. I didn't know who to say yes to, who to say no to. I didn't know how to handle this stuff. It was crazy, bro.
Right. I feel like I mean you don't really get training in that
No, you
and
don't. Now they
yeah.
give you media training, but everything was happening so fast. I had to skip it. I just had to just
Yeah.
do it, figure it
Yeah.
out. So
That's kind of wild. That sort of makes me think of like these athletes that like get
yes,
famous super quick and like these young superstars and like they get thrown into the limelight super fast and you're like, what the heck?
like look at Shador Sanders. I feel so
Yeah.
bad for him, man, because just
Yeah.
because his name, he gets so much flack, man. It's like the dude just want to play football, man.
Right.
And anytime I talk about that organization, I think he's the number one question. He's the person they're always talking about, and it's
Right.
like it's not his fault. Like
Yeah.
all he did was play well in college and got the opportunity to go pro. He should have went earlier, but he got the opportunity to go pro. And he's not even playing, but he's still like the main topic. And a lot of times there's always some weird, messed up, comments and whatever about him. But it's like he's a kid who's just trying to play football, man.
Mhm.
That's it. And it's just like because of what his name is and maybe who his coach was, which was his dad, it kind of it messes up his journey. But I think he'll get an opportunity to play, and I hope all the other stuff kind of falls away because it's not fair how they're treating him. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of I feel like those unnecessary sort of expectations. They
Yep,
maybe try to force your what his father did and
yep.
expect him to do the same thing and like I think it's going on with Arch
Bronny
Manning right
James.
now and oh
Yep.
who's that?
Bronny James.
Yep, exactly. Yep, same thing. And it's like I feel like you're kind of expecting them to live up to the same thing and like everybody's their own person. Like you
Was
can't
their own
expect
person.
that. You can't expect just because one person did it one way, like you can't expect the other person to do it the same. And
Because Michael Jordan, his sons were trash.
yeah. Yeah, it's just like funny. I feel like I don't know. Part of me I feel like we should just let athletes just play and like quit being so like nosy of what they're doing in their social life. And I know
And
there is this huge thing about this soccer player in Spain, Lamine Yamal, like his social life blew up because he's doing things on yachts and all this stuff. But
oh yeah,
and
yep.
like he's like a 16, 17-year-old kid who's very famous, millionaire now, and like let the kid I don't know, just let him play. Like let him
Yeah.
just whatever. Like it's just kind of wild to me. Um I'd love to ask you a transition. Love to ask you this question that I've been meaning to ask. I'm curious to what your viewpoint or opinion is to like sports in life and physical education in life. I'd just love to get a sort of idea of what you think, why you think sports is so important. And the reason behind this whole podcast is I love to uncover reasons why people think it is important. And I think sports affects us a lot more than we care to admit. And I'd love to sort of get your opinion on that.
I think sports it's like a universal language. I
Yeah.
think it's sports is something that can bring people from all over the world together.
Hmm.
It can also divide people from all over the
Yeah.
world. You know what I mean? It's just one of
Right.
those weird things that allows people to come together for so many awesome reasons, man. I think for me, when I talk about football, like it provided me with an opportunity of growth to meet people, to have mentors, to be put in a team setting, to learn
Hmm.
all these different things and all these different values just from this little sport. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
completely changed my life. And becoming just a fan of the sport of football or basketball or soccer, whatever it may be. Like my son, he plays all these different sports. He plays baseball now. I said this earlier. I would have never thought in a million years that I would be a baseball dad. I mean, I watch the Cardinals. You know, I got Cardinals jerseys on my wall and stuff like that. I'm a huge, I'm a fan, but and I'm a PE teacher, so I know the basis about baseball. But I'm like, I didn't think I was good enough to coach. But now that my son plays and I coach him, I have a better understanding of baseball. I have a much more respect for baseball, and I enjoy it more. And
Yeah.
then the connections that my son's making with people that he probably would have never even been friends with because he plays this sport that I never played growing up, and something that he thought, oh, I have a couple of friends who play. I want to play too. It changes everything. Sports is so universal, man. It brings so many people together. And it just provides so many opportunities to connect. And like I said earlier, build community, man. And I
Yeah.
think that's what it's all about. Like building community with people all over the world and bringing people together to just see the positive things and then just experience the joy that this world has.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's one thing that sort of rushed through my head when you're speaking is when you mentioned earlier when you got involved into football, and I feel like that was sort of the pivotal moment for you.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see. Like I feel like everybody that plays sports, there's always like one moment that they think back and they're like, this was probably the moment where like I started playing this sport and my entire life changed. And it's sort of wild to think that
It's
just
crazy to think if I wouldn't have played football, I wouldn't have met Mr. Kaiser. He wouldn't have became my dad. I probably would have been in a boys' home for more years. Who knows what would have happened? I probably would have ended up back at home doing the same dumb stuff. And it's just like, bro, like football changed my life. My brother was taken away from my family as well. So we both were taken away, me and the oldest.
mm,
And I was put into this boys' home. And then he was put into this military boot camp for 6 months. And after being there for 6 months, they sent him right back home.
mhm,
So naturally, he starts doing the same stuff again.
right.
Difference is I went to that boys' home, and instead of coming home, I was adopted, and I started living in Chesterfield. So I never went back to that environment. So I kind of shed myself of all of that stuff. You know what
Mhm,
I mean? So it's even weird now going back to the city to visit my family because I'm like, bro, like it's like I hate to say it, but it's like a lot of them are still stuck in that mindset because they still live in that same environment where I've expanded my horizons and my brain power. I've learned more things. I've seen more things. I know there's more out there in the world than what I was, exposed to in the city. And it just sucks that there's so many people who are just stuck in that negative mindset of what
mhm,
goes on in those bad communities that they don't know there's so much more life out here in the world. And I think
right.
sports is an opportunity for people to see those things.
Mm,
And what I mean by that, what I don't mean is like, oh, I got to play football to get out the hood, or I got to play basketball to get out the hood. But if this sport can provide you with an opportunity to get a better education,
mhm,
get a degree that allows you to do more than what you're used to doing in that small environment, dude, you got the whole world at your feet, bro.
right.
Like, take advantage of those opportunities. Like, sports can change people's lives in so many ways they don't even know, man. It's like the goal is not going to the NFL being professional. Yeah, that's a great thing, but it's like using this skill that the Lord blessed you with
Mhm,
to expand your horizons and grow. And that doesn't always mean you have to be professional, but if it's going to give you a free education and allow you to step outside of your comfort zone and try and do new things and meet new people and grow as a person, that's what it's all about.
yeah, and I think that's one of the most unique things about the US, about our country, is that we have the availability to provide that for athletics. Like
Yeah.
you play in schools, and that isn't offered in other countries. And I know a lot of people from other international schools, they come over here and like they're like, wow, like college sports It's crazy. Like it is crazy. And I played 1 year, excuse me, at a NAIA school. I played soccer. I got injured. I played at Ottawa University in Kansas. It's a
Mhm.
small little place outside of Lawrence.
Yep.
Um, and I loved it. Like the opportunity was great. You know, receiving that scholarship is great. It's one of those, like I still have it framed. It's one of those things like that you sort of just, I feel like I'll always say that I played soccer in college. That was a really cool thing to say. And I think that opportunity in the US is rare. And if you have that opportunity to pursue that, I think you should. And
And now with the NIL, I mean,
yeah,
that's
people are
game,
making so much money. Like,
and it's crazy.
yeah,
Um, side note though, so I went to school in Decatur, Illinois, like
yeah,
right down the street from Champaign, Illinois. So
yeah.
I used to go to U of I to party, man.
That's funny. Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
when you're driving, like I don't know how often you come home, but does it still smell in Springfield? Do you ever drive through Springfield?
I drive through it. Yeah, I drive through it.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, actually, really in Decatur, they have like it's like a soy plant, and
Yeah.
it smells really bad. So if
Yeah.
you're driving from like Champaign, and you go through the like Decatur right before you get to Springfield, you smell it. And I don't know if it's still as bad as it was when I was going there, but it was when I lived in Decatur for those 2.5 years. The smell was, oh my
Oh
God, it was.
boy. That's so funny. Yeah, I drive what is that? 70 was that 72 to 52 to
Uh,
70, I think. That's straight. I just go straight to Springfield and Springfield and
okay,
over.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
it's
used to
great.
cut through Taylorville. I'd cut through Taylorville to get to Decatur.
Oh, right.
We just went to Chicago not too long ago, and I always stop at Milliken just for just to see how everything's gotten better, and
Yeah.
then we get back on. I can think that 72 and go up to Chicago. But yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's really cool. I'd love to sort of transition to the end question here. I'm curious of I feel like you've accomplished a lot. You've got a lot of accolades. You've accomplished a lot of things in your life. I'm curious what's next. Do you have any sort of future goals or future dreams?
Ah, man, my future goal, honestly, is to be an assistant principal.
Hmm.
I don't want to be a head principal. I would love to be an assistant principal. I think just watching my assistant principal at my school, my former, the guy who was the PE teacher before me, Mr. Norton, is an incredible principal now, but he was an assistant principal as well. And it's funny because we have so many things in common. I think I kind of want to follow his path, what he's been able to do as a PE teacher and taking that same mindset with community and just building these relationships with students and with teachers, like the way he's changed the culture of our school and our community that we serve, it's incredible. And I want to do that same thing. So eventually I want to become an assistant principal, man, and just do a lot of the same things that Mr. Norton is doing with our school and our community, and just kind of be that breath of fresh air, and just being an ally to all the teachers and the students. So I want to be an assistant principal. And then I want my son to get an NIL so I can retire.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's really funny. I interviewed
NIL.
when I interviewed a punter, the punter that previously punted here at the university.
Yeah.
And he said there were a couple schools, I don't remember the name, but he was like, yeah, there are a couple schools that just emailed me and said, "Hey, I'll give you 100 grand to punt at my school." I'm like, "What?" Like
That's
that
crazy.
that is nuts. Like $100,000 to kick a ball. Like what the heck?
So what was that? How did he?
He didn't share. I didn't poke and provoke any more info,
Oh,
but
hey, come on, man!
I was like,
The amount
oh
of
my
money these kids
God,
are
dude.
making. I hope to God, and you would think at a lot of these big universities they are putting financial responsible things in front
Yeah.
of them so they can learn how to save their money, use their money, and all those things. Because a lot of these kids that come from where I came from were great athletes, and they come into all this money, bro. Man, I don't. It was tough for them to blow it all.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine if I was like 18 years old, I was a punter and my coach was like, here's 100 grand and I have a
Right?
check for 100 grand. I'd be like, wow, okay, this is not going to anywhere it should be going.
Travis Hunter, he was making like $3.5 million.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like,
crazy.
like,
Like these
yeah,
are kids, and they don't even. And the thing is, they don't even need the money right now. I mean,
yeah,
they can take that 3 whatever million, but they can just take 100,000 and
yep,
be good.
yeah.
You
But
give
yeah,
me $20 and I'll be good. I stretch
right.
that.
Oh my gosh, I'd make that last forever. Oh my God, what the heck? Like, it's wild. It's a crazy atmosphere we live in right now, and I think it's very athlete friendly that
Oh,
we're in,
absolutely.
very
Yeah, I
sports
think
friendly.
respectfully so, because there was a time when the NCAA was kind of. I mean, I don't want to say they were stealing money from these kids, but these kids were owed something because they were making money off of their blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't think this is the final say all on how they're going to do this because I think it's getting out of hand.
Hmm.
Like the way these kids are able to just get back in the transfer portal to get more money or whatever it may be. They're going
Right.
to put things in place to like fix that. But I mean, I love that kids are getting paid now. I
Right.
think it's
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There was a show, there's a show on Netflix. I think it was called Bad Sport. The first episode was about college basketball players in Minnesota, I think, and they got like $300 a month, something like that. It was in the early, like I think late 90s, and they were getting like $300 a month for playing on a scholarship. And they started point shaving to make more money, and it came out as this massive scandal, and it
I gotta
became
watch
this.
that.
It's called Bad Sport on Netflix.
Okay.
It's actually really cool. It's like one of the first like documented point shavings things in college sports, and
Wow.
it's just it's kind of interesting to think of it. And I'm like, wow, I wonder like with all the money that's in NAL and college sports, like like, what if that's like my whole like thought process. Well, what if this
Oh
is
no,
happening right now?
there's definitely. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's definitely people.
I'm
I
sure.
know college kids doing that because I
Yeah,
mean they get paid, and then there's people in the NBA doing it.
yeah,
What's his name? Michael Porter Jr. His brother, I
yeah,
think, in jail right now.
yeah.
We're doing that.
Right.
And then he was on a podcast where he was saying, like, if I got some friends, back from the hood, and if I sit out for a quarter and they can win money and 10 G, I'm like, you're literally telling on yourself,
Yeah.
right?
What? Like what? Like
Like it's crazy, man. Like
yeah,
the whole business behind the business.
yeah.
I
It's
mean, like the
wild.
Vegas and the betting and all the stuff. I whenever I'm watching sports now, like because I do fantasy football,
Hmm.
I got to go look at like, okay, what is Vegas saying? Because that's how I'm going to figure out who to play.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. I love the old school style of fantasy where like you just went with the gut.
Exactly.
You watch the game, you're like, I just feel like he's gonna do well today,
Yep.
But
Not
now
anymore.
now you show up
What
to
Vegas put their money on? Okay, let me go ahead and assist
yeah,
this.
it's kind of wild. Everything's driven by odds and
Yep.
betting and everything. Like it's kind of wild to think of the Vegas Raiders stadium. I'm pretty sure they have a casino, like a
Yep.
nightclub and casino in their stadium. And I'm like,
It's I went to Vegas for the first time about a month or so ago. It was insane.
yeah,
It was I mean, I didn't do anything crazy or anything like that, but
yeah.
my wife and I we walked the strip and went to all the different places and I was just like, "Oh my God, this is
It's it's kind of wild. Like I feel like it's going to a game is straying away from the game itself to like
oh yeah.
what can you do at the game
Yep.
instead of
That's
me enjoying the sport. And so
yes.
it's kind
Yes.
of wild. I hate to see it. I share the same passion of you about sports and what it can do to people's lives and how it can change us as people and bring us together. And I see the Raiders have a casino in their stadium. I'm like, oh, like great. I feel like that counteracts the entire purpose of
I
the sport.
think one of the best examples of sports that incorporates all the things, the singing, the dance, and the fun, the all
Mhm.
athleticism, all the stuff is the banana ball, bro.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
I went to a Savannah Bananas game with my son and his friends and stuff. I'm like, this was probably one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced in my life.
yeah,
Like, because these kids out there playing, they are good.
yeah.
It's not just some bum, some circus show. Like these kids are very, very talented and very, very good. They're playing baseball out there.
Hmm.
But the fact that they can throw the dancing in and for like the TikToks and all this stuff and
Yeah,
doing backflips and they got a man on stilts throwing and they got Nelly coming out performing and all these different people in different states and they sold out. It's
yeah,
it was in literally from the first before the first pitch to the last pitch, I was locked in.
yeah.
I mean, it was just it was amazing, dude. He got a great recipe. He's not selling to the major corporations.
No.
Like it's just him and his wife. They running everything. I'm like, this
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how much money they're making
Oh,
because they
it's
started all
insane.
the stadiums
Yeah,
everywhere. It's
it's wild.
crazy. And then it gives people who, weren't able to go pro or got hurt in college opportunities to like relive their dreams, which
Right.
is incredible.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're making really good money too. I mean, the sold out stadiums and it's just I've seen they're selling out professional stadiums and things like
Yes.
that. Like It's crazy what started off as like
It's not
this pipe
serious.
dream. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about like, bro, I gotta hit 80 home runs. I gotta
Yeah.
make a contract. We gotta win the World Series. Like if we
Yeah.
didn't make the playoffs, they're just playing for fun. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about it. Just the joy of the game, man.
Yeah. I know. I wish pro sports sort of adopted that model a bit more of just enjoying the
It's a
game.
business. You can't
But
because it's a business.
yeah.
So I get it.
I understand. I understand both sides. I'm passionate about like the same things that you view too, is just the importance of it and how it can change people's lives. And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
it was an honor speaking to you, Mr. Cockrell. Thank you very much for being on the show today. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it. I hope to see your name in the news as the assistant principal somewhere soon.
Hey, we'll see.
So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well, man. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.